Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 25 of Scion of the Dark House, a Gothic horror 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons podcast. As it is a horror podcast, there might be some subject matters that people might find a bit sensitive, such as child endangerment, body horror, blood, gore, violence, and other such things. If there is anything that crosses a line for you, please take a break. Your support is important to us, but so is your mental health. So when we last left off, the group had discovered a tunnel at the end of a rickety minecart ride that regrettably Jasmine had to go on, causing her to swipe and claw at her fellow teammates. They entered the room to find a grand rotunda, almost like a cathedral, with a permanent teleportation circle and various alcoves with crystals in them, and one on an altar surrounded by dead bodies of miners. Percy cast a Detect Evil and Good and found that every single crystal, including the one in the center of the room, was filled with middling to incredibly powerful aberrations. After doing some negotiating and firing an arrow at the crystal, the group came face to face with a being that called itself Ibar, the dark between the stars, that desperately wanted them to be part of whatever little hive mind it had, bringing the miners to life and causing them to attack as the group rejected the gift. They managed to slay it, but its last breath was a curse, as it seems Percy was cut with Arthur's Hail of Thorns spell, and Ibar sensed the Kritzwald blood flowing within him. As the group left the mine and went back to the mine headquarters on the minecart, Jasmine sedated with a catnip smell, Percy realized the whispers that they were hearing in the room that they were just in have not stopped. And this is where we begin, as the minecart comes to a stop at the bay with all of the other tracks and minecarts and bustling miners, and you all begin to get out. What would you like to do?
Percy steps out and kind of bangs his ear like he's trying to get water out of it or something.
You doing okay over there, Percy?
Yeah. I guess I'm still kind of wigging out about that aberration in there.
Yeah, well, it was definitely gruesome, to say the least.
Yeah, has a lot to my family that I never thought would be like this.
Yep, really standing on the shoulders of giants there, bud.
Kind of thought we just had a haunted old house. Not that there was a conspiracy or anything.
Well, you had to know something caused it.
Yeah, I guess I just always try to purposely not examine that.
I can't say I can blame you.
We'll start walking back out towards the cathedral headquarters area.
Should we check on those miners that we saw on the way in here?
I would have to imagine they're probably just dead now.
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out.
Yeah, can we go check that tent?
Yes, the stone speaker does lead you over to the tent, and as he parts the cloth, the other two have fallen over. Oh, whatever you did in there must have either freed them or killed them. Either way, it seems their torment is at an end.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, these men have been dead for quite some time.
That is a possibility.
You're probably right.
Well, this is concerning. I will talk with the other elders elsewhere in Gothia, the other stone speakers, and see if they have any other solutions. I would advise turning over this information to anybody else who might be able to help.
Of course.
Do contact us if you find out anything more about that business back there.
Most certainly will.
Oh,
Okay.
and for your help, Lark pulls a seed out of his pocket, and he's just gonna be like, a gift from the Fae. And like holds the seed out in one hand with like in his hand, Fern Gully style.
Always so generous.
The stone speaker does reach out and take it, but it's not hard to see. He has a raised eyebrow, and he tucks it into his pocket, and he says, well, I thank you for your present. I'm sure we can use it in the future to gain help of any kind.
Right. Thank you, Balthasar and Elsie. Your help is appreciated.
Cheers.
They both nod and wander back off. And Chauncey pipes up and goes, I don't know about you all, but I'm probably just going to head back to the chapel and just make
Unpack
myself
all
a
that?
pot of tea. Yeah, maybe
Um,
just rest up, read a good book.
That'd be good.
there's one more thing I'd like to do before we. I mean, you guys are welcome to go back to the chapel and rest, but I have business here.
What sort of business, Arthur?
The
Brother
sort that
Chauncey.
one doesn't discuss before it's completed.
Perhaps it would be good for us to take our leave here. I'll try to make sure I stop by the chapel sometime soon.
I would like that. Yeah. And then Alex kind of goes, I should probably head back. I have studying to do, exams and all. Yeah.
Thanks for helping out. Definitely.
Yeah.
You didn't have to, but I mean, this ended up being about our family too. So I guess I'm glad another Kutzfall was there.
Yeah. 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 Well, good luck with yeah, just good luck. I'll see you around.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe while you're back at the staff of night, whoever you think would be good to talk to about all that, maybe mention it to them.
Yeah. I think I can remember that teleportation circle. So I can turn it over. Yeah, I'll just get going.
Yeah. Percy steps in and gives him a quick hug.
He does hug you back.
Steps back.
And then Alex just kind of awkwardly just
Yeah.
And
so, Arthur, I have a decent idea of what your new mission here is, and well, my morals on these situations have already turned quite gray, so I'll lend a hand.
How refreshing.
I mean, if mischief is afoot, I can't be far behind.
Fair enough. So it's a party then. I think, is there anyone else around at this point, or like have Alex and Chauncey wandered off?
Rerek has rejoined us, right?
Not yet.
Okay.
You do hear at the back of your head the familiar Professor Maximilian Dupree, apparently using a sending spell. We didn't find very much, but your friend was a tremendous help. I'm sending him back to your house, if that's okay.
I'm glad to hear it. We're actually down at the mines, if you could send him here.
You don't get a response, presumably because the spell has therefore ended. And I'm actually going to roll something real quick just to. Okay. At the university, the staff of night, you've just finished sifting through hundreds of books, just sifting at this point, knowing what you're looking for, but you haven't really found anything. Nothing's turned up. There's very few books on the subject matter in general. But it wasn't exactly unfruitful. You have found other references to the Cats of Ulthar, as well as other beings from the far realms. With as little information as there is, you've at least found something. And that's when Maximilian Dupree, the weasel, says, well, I should probably get you back to your friends. Thank you so much for your help. We'll take it from here. Of course, you know you're always welcome in the library. But Moira, I'm going to quickly contact his compatriots. If you could be prepared to cast a teleport spell. And she goes, of course, I'll do that as soon as I can. And that's when Maximilian sends the message, and Moira casts the teleport spell, and you feel yourself yanked back into darkness before appearing in front of the mines in Darkmoor. You have passed them a couple of times going in and out of Darkmoor. It is a big, imposing hole in the side of the mountain with a dirt road heading up to it, ramshackle shanty town on both sides of the street, mine carts going this way and that, soot occasionally flowing out in huge clouds. And you stand there for a moment looking around until you spot Percy, Arthur, and Lark standing near a tent near the entrance.
Hi, guys.
And now you've officially rejoined.
Welcome back.
I'm here.
Oh, perfect, Rerek. We were just about to commit a little murder.
That's why I'm
Well,
here.
I don't know that I
Maybe we don't go that
that
far, but
Arthur's just like twirling his dagger like in his fingers down by his leg, and he just says, there is a gentleman that it seems requires a bit of a talking to. Just continues flipping the dagger, like playing with it nervously.
right?
I think I'm good with talking.
I'm sure we find somewhere somewhat private here.
What is it that I found out within flipping those, like while I was flipping through those books? Is it something important that I should be disclosing?
Not really. Really just more references to the Cats of Ulthar, as well as a few names here and there of other beings. But
I just got
really
a little
anything.
bit smarter, that's what it is.
There's not really a lot of material on the subject matter that they're wanting to go through. But you did manage to find a few, at least references, if not mentions of things. So you feel as though you helped affirm that Professor Maximilian is on the right track.
Okay. I'm ready.
Well, based on that look, Arthur, I would assume you have some sort of plan in the works.
I think I just had the most brilliant idea. Percy, the magic that you've prepared today, are you prepared to give us a little privacy?
Are you requesting silence?
If it becomes necessary, yes.
I'm looking at my first spells.
Actually,
Yes.
how many above game? How many spell slots does everybody have left? Because like we just went through
I'm
like a pretty
still
intense.
okay.
I think
I still have a full slot.
Yeah, Rerek's good.
But yeah, he's good to go.
Yeah.
Yes, Arthur, I can lend you some privacy if it is required.
So I think Lark will particularly enjoy this, and Arthur kind of like leans over and whispers in his ear. So, as much as I would love to part that greasy bastard's head from his shoulders, I think I have a plan that you'll enjoy much more should we be able to find him, which I have no doubt we can. If you might be able to use your cunning ways, I'm thinking rather than just, murder him, boring, we could perhaps charm him into stripping naked and walking among the miners with, and hear me out if you have the magic prepared, with his, let's say, assets significantly reduced.
I don't think I can reduce a single part of someone's body versus their entire body.
Well, that's rough. And we don't have, does anybody have minor illusion?
Obviously.
Well, I mean, we could work it that way. The only thing that's important is the perception of the miners. Again, still whispering back and forth.
I can touch him and give him a little bit of frostbite and make him feel cold.
That could be helpful.
Just grab his dick and cast freezing touch or whatever.
Frostbite. At that point, you might just accidentally rip it off.
Yeah.
Accidentally.
Like,
is it that scandalous on the material plane?
Oh yes, trust me. These humans will, if they had any respect for him left at all, that will go right out the window. He'll never hear the end of it. His reputation will be destroyed.
No wonder you made me start wearing clothes like this, Percy.
It was really all for you all along.
I can try. I
mean, I could just take his head, that would be fine. But like I said, yawn. So if you're up for it, I suppose we can try to locate him. We maybe get some charm going on, see if we can persuade him to walk out there. And I don't know, are we frostbiting his peen or doing the minor illusion situation?
Lark's just minor illusioning like different sized penises in the air. And he goes, what's the standard here? And then he's like, this is what a satyr's like back home, and it's disgustingly enormous.
Like an acorn. Like we want to go for like an acorn, a little baby.
Oh, so you want the Sprite special? He snaps.
There you go. That will do nicely, I believe.
As if Lark has done this before.
That will work perfectly. Oh, you're brilliant. Of course, right. You knew this already.
Well, it seems like I could use some levity. This could be fun.
Yeah.
I'm assuming my role in this is if he screams, I make it silent.
Yeah, and then we just get the out of there.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, assuming that Hunter's Mark is still active, which if it's only been about 50 minutes at this point, it should be, then I need to make a survival check to see if I can find him. Or track him anyway.
Nino, don't forget your portents. They can help us do this bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah, don't spend your portents on anything.
I just wrote them down, but I haven't thrown the dice for them yet.
Okay, so that is
battle. Spend it on dick shrinking.
Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and do them just to make sure we have the dick shrinking.
So Arthur kind of like, I don't know, like roots around on the ground, plucks a couple pieces of grass. Jasmine's scenting the air. I got a 15 on the check to find him.
So as you're kind of looking around on the ground, there's a lot of footprints all over the place. The dust being dragged in and dragged out. You're not likely to find footprints, especially because this is stone. But then you look up to the big, giant, rose-stained window, which doesn't seem to have any actual panes in it. It's just the stone making the area around it where it would, where the glass pieces would be held. And standing in that window is a very recognizable figure, sitting there, standing with his hands behind his back, kind of just surveying the mine. It is definitely, you guys knew his name, right?
I don't think we actually got his name.
Oh, interesting. I feel like
I've just been calling
I
him.
don't have it written down. So
maybe you didn't get it. But anyway, the owner of the mine, in all of his greasy glory, is standing there in that window, which is presumably in front of his office.
Okay, so this is in relation to where we are now. This is what, like a separate building from the mine?
No. So you have the entrance behind you, which goes into the place where there's all of the tunnels. And then directly across from the entrance is the rose window up higher.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
You would most likely have to climb a set of scaffolding or a set of stairs to get to the door to his office, which is then presumably the room that is behind the giant stone rose window.
Can I tell from here, like, how one would get up there?
Yes, there is, underneath of it, there is a separate tunnel that heads forward, presumably to another section of the mine. And on either side, there are two very large doors that have been decorated like cathedral doors with stairs that seem to go up to the side. Presumably, they are both stairs that would lead to the office, or at least a landing that would allow you to gain access to the office.
Fair enough. Okay, so Arthur notices all of this. I think it's this way, boys. Should I feel like I should. I don't know that everyone else is going to pass, but I feel the need to make a stealth check.
Well, you certainly can.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, there's people milling about, so.
We're doing a group stealth? Or
if you would like.
Is that a thing? How do we do that?
Well, it would be basically, I have a DC. If most of you pass it, it would be a success. If most of you fail it, it would be a fail. But I mean.
Okay, gotcha. Well, let me check me and Jasmine then real quick. If you guys want to.
We could do Arthur by himself and the rest of us.
Just following along.
Okay, oof. Wow, okay. I got a 28. Jasmine, however, got an 11. With a +8. That was a garbage roll.
Oof.
Were the rest of us doing stealth checks?
If you want to.
I don't think my portents would help you. They're not very good.
I rolled like shite.
Oh, remember, Percy, you were still telling me if you roll a natural 1 on anything.
Yes, I will remember. I'll write that down. Well, I got a 5.
Oof.
I have a 21.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I got a 15 for stealth.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that that's good enough. Most of you rolled pretty high. You managed to weave your way through the miners. Nobody really seems to notice, except Percy, who bumps into a few of them, and they try to just go, "Hey, hey, I'm walking here."
they New Yorker miners?
Apparently.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And you make your way to the back of this large sort of lobby almost. And you manage to go up the stairs. And yes, at the end of the stairs is a very fine looking door that presumably leads into the office, if I will stop getting emails. That leads into the office. It is a wooden door with very fine looking hinges and a very fine looking handle.
Okay.
And
so Arthur's just gonna like lean over to Lark. Okay, so when we get in there, you'll be ready to go. And Percy and I will be backup crew. Well, the rest of us will be backup crew, just in case things go south, then we'll just dispose of the problem.
Lark's just gonna be like, I can try, but I don't have the kind of magic that just makes someone do everything I want them to do. But I can try.
No.
And then just
not at all.
Use my other talents to be particularly persuasive if he falls under my spell.
That would be helpful. I mean, I've found the pointy end of the blade to be rather persuasive as well. So, if needs be. Again, whispering.
Whatever you overhear, though, I'm just playing towards getting what I want out of him, all right?
Well, fair enough. If you need to do anything extra while we're here, feel free. Treat yourself.
Fantastic.
All right. Here goes nothing. And Arthur's gonna reach for the door.
as you turn the handle and it's unlocked and it just opens and you see the office. It's a very fine looking office. It has the flat wall that is taken up entirely by the rose window, and there is no glass in between. You could literally toss something out of the window and down to the floor. The back wall is curved, and in the center of the room is a very elaborate, fine-looking desk with a very plush chair. There's sconces on the walls. There are paintings on the walls. There's fine carvings all over the walls. It also looks like a large room in a cathedral, but it is practically empty. There are a few chairs here and there. There's a table, presumably for people to sit while they are speaking with him, but this room is pretty much just an office. But it's very big and very imposing. The ceilings are very high, and the light in this room is very low, except for the light that is coming in through the rose window. He's standing at that window, staring out as it was before, and he doesn't even look at you, but he seems to know that you're there. Ah, yes. Would you like to speak with me? Almost forgot his voice.
I imagine maybe Arthur's just about to say something and Lark just puts a finger on his lips. And he goes, why, yes, Pardon the intrusion, friend. You can call me Lark. I don't know if we ever actually got around to proper introductions when we first met earlier.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. And he actually does at that point turn. Well, if you would like to come in, I do have some ice water if you would like. I am Jethro Mordson. I own this mine, as my family has for generations before. Please come in. I'm sure you have some interesting business opportunities that I could take advantage of.
You hit the nail right on the head.
He practically struts like a peacock to his desk, where he pours out some glasses of water. Yes, I'd love to hear all about them. And he sits in his giant plush chair.
So
He sounds annoying.
Lark's gonna fly forward, and so towards the end of last session, I remember that I burnt a 2nd level spell slot to generate 2 sorcery points that I never wound up using.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna use one of those sorcery points and subtle spell a charm person on him, so that he can't even tell that I'm casting. I'm not just a little bit magic, just a little.
Right. Yeah, well, I rolled a saving throw and he only got a 10, so he is probably charmed.
Yeah, the spell save DC is a 16 right now.
Ooh. Yeah, he definitely failed that. He is charmed.
Which means that I have advantage on social interaction checks with him, and he can't willingly attack me.
No, if you do attack him, he gets the opportunity to break out of your charm.
Yeah, but okay. But as long as we don't fuck with him, he actually wouldn't want to go after me. Okay.
Right.
Lark's just gonna be like, well, Jethro, this is quite the operation you have here, but what if I told you that there was ways that you could produce even more money out of this mine?
Oh, I am definitely interested.
Well, if you couldn't tell, I'm not exactly local to the area. Yes, I hail from the Feywild. Distant sister of this wonderful place, the material plane.
Yes, so I've heard.
We've our own tunnels and caverns there, filled to the brim with gems and jewels and dripping with gold. And all sorts of things that could interest a man of your stature.
Yes, I'm very interested in this.
What if I told you that for just a small display, one small display, and you could possibly gain the favor of others of my kind with far more deep connections to those sorts of things than my little self could?
Ooh. I'm very interested. What would you like? A donation? A sample of gemstones of which we could trade?
Well, I would never pass up an opportunity for donations or samples. But what I'm offering you would require an act of bravery and an act of confidence. You can be brave and confident, can't you, Jethro?
Of course, I run this very mine.
So, Jethro, what do you know anything of the Feywild and what I'm speaking of?
Very little, if I'm to be honest.
Yes. So I'm going to teach you. If you're willing to part with some of these gems and to go along with my plan, I can teach you a ritual, an invocation to draw the attention of a particularly potent being from the Feywild, who may, most likely, bless your tunnels and mines with gems and jewels and everything in between.
Oh, how wonderful.
Fantastic. Now I will need a sample though. Unfortunately, though the business arrangement that will be between you and him, for me, I suppose a finder's fee wouldn't be. It was your idea in the first place, darling. So what could I get out of it from you other than, I mean, this is great, deep, eldritch information I'm passing along.
Yes, okay.
Also, I'll totally roll a persuasion check whenever you need me to.
You are playing right into his ego, so you don't really need, and he is charmed.
Yeah. Lark
so
being
you
a sycophant, who would have seen that coming?
You don't really need to make a persuasion check at the moment. You haven't asked anything too crazy of him yet. And he reaches into his desk and he pulls out a bag and dumps some of the contents onto the table. And it is about 250 gold worth of various gemstones. I assume that will be enough for a minor finder's fee.
I suppose that this offering is enough for me to teach you the invocation. Now, like I said, it will require an act of bravery on your part for what is considered brave in the mortal realm, I've heard. There's a particular Archfey who adores acts of a little bit of wildness to them. His name's Hersum. So I'm going to need you to strip naked and walk through your mind to the deepest part and shout aloud, Hersum, Hersum, Prince of Parties, bring your treasures to me. 3 times, and circle yourself 3 times counterclockwise. Could you do that for me, Jethro?
Now I would like you to make a persuasion check, with advantage, of course, because he is charmed.
That is gonna be persuasion is +8, so that's an 18.
Ooh. Well, I don't think there is any time to delay. And he does stand up and just start stripping. He does neatly fold his clothes as he takes them off and put them in one of his chairs off to the side, but he does strip completely naked.
Do I need to waste a minor illusion to make his package look particularly smaller?
Let me roll a percentile die.
Roll for dick size.
Yes. I got 50% on the dot. No idea what that means. He's average.
So completely average?
Completely average. Nothing impressive, but nothing eye-catchingly tiny.
So Lark's just going to be like, splendid, perfect. Now remember, you must directly walk towards the deepest part of your mind.
Of
and
course.
There, what's the invocation?
Hersum, 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 Prince of Parties. I literally forgot the last line.
Or it's like, yes, and he's like, bring your treasures to me. 3 counterclockwise circles.
Yes. Yes, I will be sure to remember that. And he strides out of the office, down the stairs, around the corner, and begins walking deeper into the mine. And as he does...
Also use minor illusion, like whenever people get close to him.
Yeah, people do start talking. And occasionally, if someone gives him too weird of a look, he goes, worry not. The fairies have provided me with an invocation that will bring many gems to the mine. Raises for all. As he continues marching, strutting down the tunnel towards the deepest part of the mine like he's on a catwalk.
Once he's gone far enough, Lark's like, we may want to get out of here.
Arthur's
just walks in and was like,
technically speaking, I didn't lie to him. So I don't know how important invoking Hersum's name for a bit of fey trickery is not exactly faux pas where I'm from. Though gods forbid he actually pays attention to a man like that other than to laugh at him.
Which would just be gravy. Well, I am thoroughly satisfied. If you gentlemen are ready to take your leave, I couldn't be more pleased.
Yeah.
That was just excellent work, Lark. Mwah. We'll just start heading out.
Yeah,
I do want to take a quick peek at the miners as we're passing by, just see what the jabber is.
Oh yeah, there is a lot of it. There are people laughing, there are people talking in hushed tones. There is a rumors spread fast, even on the material plane. Miners are talking and running to other groups of miners to talk about this. There is no way he's getting out of this.
Fabulous. Just fabulous. Arthur just like continues, walk. I guess we're going to head back to where are we heading?
I think we can just spend the night somewhere and then we head back to the house tomorrow.
Okay, so completely unsure of where he's going. He's just gonna keep striding, like just riding a high, thoroughly pleased that this plan like went off.
Mm-hmm.
Just mwah. Just beautiful work. Beautiful.
I'm probably gonna spend the night with my family, and we can head out in the morning.
Okay. Do you think your parents would mind if we crashed for a bit? Or should we get a room at the Down Falcon?
We'll probably do the same setup as last time with you on the couch, but
sure. Yeah, that's fine. I have no problems with that. We can fit Lark in like a cabinet or something. Like he's fine.
What is your people and your fascination with putting me in cabinets?
He gives us a momentary
where you fit.
Look how tight Indy is going right in.
Yeah, we'll walk back to my family's house.
Yeah. I would say that this whole exchange with going into the mine and out and all the stuff you've done, it's probably maybe around 3 o'clock, getting close to 4.
Sure.
So as you come back to your family's house, a sense of normalcy does return. Your father is considering what to prepare for dinner, but is probably up in his study leafing through various papers to try and figure out what he's going to buy next. And your mother is still at the hospital, and Belladonna is presumably still at the university, although you are unsure. Yeah. But otherwise, the rest of the afternoon seems to be yours.
Sure. Do we want to role play this afternoon, or do any shopping today, guys, or do we want to time skip to tomorrow?
Well, I mean, Lark made out with a sack full of gems. I don't know if there's anything he'd like to try to exchange that for. Or, I mean, there's always the good old standby, which is blow it all on booze.
I might ask Lark, do you think I could, if any of those are diamonds, I could have a few of them for Revivifies?
Are any of them diamonds that would work for Revivify? I thought Revivify needed a diamond worth 1,000 gold.
I don't think 1,000.
I think it's like 100 or something like that. And also, it doesn't, I at least am going to rule it doesn't have to be a full diamond. It just has to be 100 gold pieces worth of diamonds.
Gotcha.
I did roll a percentile dice, and I don't know how I'm getting these perfectly nice numbers, but about 33% of the gemstones that you have are diamonds, or at least something that looks enough like diamonds that it's hard to distinguish between the two of them.
Yeah, it's quartz.
Could be, but about 33% of them appear to be diamonds.
Okay.
Cool.
So whatever 33% of 250 is.
So yeah, I'll give you 83 gold worth of diamonds.
Wonderful. I have almost enough for 2 casts of Revivify.
Ooh.
I mean, I suppose I could put my recent bribe from that poor idiot to use.
Is there any particular store you would like to go to? Now that I have to dig out a whole bunch of books.
I mean, Lark only has like 400 gold total, so it's not enough to get any cool new equipment, probably, based on what I remember us buying.
We're still waiting on Arthur's sword for now, right?
Which is like maybe 1 to 2 or 3 days out. Yeah. It's really close.
So on the next trip back to Darkmoor, we can pick that up.
Okay, well, if you lot are done for the night, then I'm perfectly all right with staying here, provided there's food and ample drink. I'm sure there will be.
My dad will be more than happy. If we're not going to role play it, I might just say Percy goes to the hospital just to like help out for the day, and then comes back with his mom. And
sure. Yeah, you can do that.
Lark's gonna look towards Arthur and be like, "Do you want to go find some prostitutes?"
You know, I honestly can't say I've ever had the pleasure.
Wait, Arthur, are you a virgin?
It's not like there was exactly a lot of time for that sort of thing. I mean, first with the traveling huntsmen's, and then, you know, a life of, well, you know what I do. Not a whole lot of time for recreational fare. Ooh. Awkward.
Darling, you're so much more valuable than I thought you were now.
Percy walks out and is like, if you guys catch syphilis, I'm not casting Cure Disease.
Great,
no,
thanks.
We're not. Forget I even asked. I just thought you would know because you brought it up before.
Me?
Yeah.
I brought up the prostitutes?
You brought us up hiring one for Percy.
Oh, yes. Just as a gift, a suggestion of a gift. Yeah, I thought that would be a nice thing that I hear people enjoy, but, you know, I don't know even where we would, I guess I suppose I could ask around where we would find that sort of thing. I'm sure many of the people I'm in contact with would be able to guide us in the right direction.
Do you want us to get you a prostitute, Percy?
I'm leaving. I'm going to the hospital to be a responsible human being. You all get up to whatever nonsense you want. In Rerek, the saints bless you. And I walk out the door.
I don't know where to go. I'm like 15.
Mm-hmm.
After Percy leaves the room, Lark's gonna be like, now I want to hire someone to go to the hospital and flirt with him, but not do anything. And then, yes, it sounds like fun.
I think I'll just go and read some book somewhere. Is there anywhere for me to go to read a book?
Yeah, there's the guest bedroom and probably the living room that you can read a book in, maybe the back porch or the front porch.
Also, something happened with my D&D Beyond thing, and my intelligence is now at -4.
That doesn't sound right.
That's a glitch.
Changed the score by accident?
What the hell happened? It used to be a +3.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's your
your
spellcasting modifier, isn't it? Like,
yeah, that was probably a glitch of some kind.
So you should have like 16 or 17 intelligence then.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it was a +3, it would have been 16 or 17.
And now it's 3 because of the -4. What the fudge?
How did that happen?
Animals have a higher score than that?
No, actually. Most animals have sub-3 intelligence.
What the hell just happened? Well, whatever. I'll keep trying.
Okay. Well, just use the +3 if
Yeah.
you need to.
Yeah, just use the +3.
We all know. So, I mean, do you want me to ask around? Like, I'm sure we could make this happen if it really tickles your fancy.
I mean, messing with Percy always tickles my fancy, darling. I don't know if you've caught on to that by now.
I know the faces he makes. Fabulous.
But it would be better if we were there, and if we show up, it'll be too obvious. So let's save the gold.
Fine. All right.
Now that I know you're a virgin, can I have a few locks of your hair?
For what?
You'd be surprised how effective it is at making unicorn snares back home.
Is it going to affect me in any way?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
That doesn't exactly inspire confidence.
Would I hurt you, Arthur?
Arthur just kind of glares at him, like,
Didn't I just persuade someone who annoyed you to strip naked and make a fool of himself and invoke the literal Prince of Fools?
You know what?
Locks of your hair, darling.
You have a fair point. Arthur just like takes out a dagger and, I don't know, I guess cuts off a bit of his hair. It's cropped pretty short, but he cuts off what he can.
In the background, Nothing Compares to You begins to play.
Okay. All right. That's about enough.
Lark's just got like one of those little pouch satchel things out and he goes, "Thank you."
I would say anytime, but I honestly wouldn't mean it.
And I do appreciate honesty.
So I've gathered. At least from others, anyway.
I've never lied.
No. You know what? I'm not going to touch that one. Just where's Mr. Kutzball? It's good food, drink, something, anything. He's like trying to escape this conversation.
Yeah. On that note, Percy, could you make me 5 medicine checks?
Okay.
Wow.
First is a 24. Next is 25. Then a 17. And then 12. I think the last one is 18.
Okay, so no ones. Okay. Reasons. So then the day comes to a close. The family gets back together around dinner. Belladonna has returned. No new powers seem to have manifested. However, everyone is aware of the cats. What they are.
Like, are they on the table? Like, are they in the food?
No, they're floating. They quite like floating.
Oh, I didn't know they floated.
Yeah, they seem to like floating. It's very weird.
Well, at least they're not on the food then. Take a bite.
Now, I don't know if they can affect the food.
Yeah, but I feel like just knowing that they were on it would bother me.
Fair enough. And it seems the evening passes by rather uneventfully, and you all meander your way to bed and eventually to sleep.
Percy lays awake for a while, listening to the whispers in his ears.
Yes, you do. You've noticed that as you've kept busy throughout the day, you've barely noticed the whispers.
Yeah.
But now that you're actually laying down in bed, head on the pillow, staring up at the ceiling with nothing going on, they're practically deafening. They're speaking in a language you do not understand. There are many different voices, some of them deep, some of them multitonal, some of them more feminine, some of them more masculine, some of them very high-pitched and nasally, some of them almost buzzy. And they're loud and everywhere. As you lay awake in the dark.
He was definitely having like a, this is my life now. This is cool. All right. This is my hell.
Yeah, so other than a very hard night of sleep for Percy, you do eventually manage to get to sleep. But the morning comes and nothing seems to have happened.
Wonderful. Start the day, have a good breakfast, and we can head off as soon as we're all ready.
Head off. You look like warm cow dung.
Uncalled for. Didn't sleep great. It's fine. Just nervous. Going back to the house and everything.
I mean, to be fair though, Percy, haggard doesn't look good on you.
his eyes are already like sunken and now they're like gross and bagged and
yeah.
As opposed to
Lark.
your ever radiant self, Lark. Wait, don't you have above game? Don't you have that thing where like you're the center of attention thing? What is that?
All eyes on you or something?
It's kind of a variation of. Let me. It's on my character sheet. What is it? All eyes on you.
Mm-hmm.
My accents, mannerisms, figures of speech, and my appearance all mark me as foreign. Curious glances are directed my way wherever I go, which can be a nuisance, but can gain friendly interest of scholars and others intrigued by far-off lands. It lets me, like, sporadically be like, you want to know about the Feywild?
Right. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so that just, like, is a point that, like, Arthur brings up as he's discussing the looks of his cohorts.
I mean, I'm just saying, I was born out of a flower. It's not my fault I'm this pretty.
No, certainly not. What a burden.
Truly.
I mean, Belladonna speaks up at this point. I mean, you do look kind of a bit unwell. Are you sure you're feeling okay?
Yeah, just nerves. I mean,
you can't see the cats too, can you?
I genuinely do take a second to like look around.
You do not see any cats.
No.
Was it more erotic dreams of your past lovers?
Excuse me?
This is my family. Maybe we don't.
You don't discuss conquests with your family in the mortal plane?
No, we don't do that here. We should put that on the list of things we don't do here.
I didn't need to know.
Used to compete.
Understood. Not that I would. When are we leaving?
I look at Velvet. I'm fine. I promise. It's just rough night of sleep.
I pulled that with you, and you didn't believe me.
Yeah, you kind of also exploded.
I did. But we don't know.
I'm not currently exploding.
It doesn't mean you won't at some point.
Wow.
I am related to you.
It is sad because it's true. Yeah, sure. When we were in the chamber with the aberration and everything, remember how there was it was a bar, like he was whispering to us, right? The whole time?
No. Did the other party members hear that? Because I don't.
Yes, while you were in the chamber, you could hear the whispering coming from the other crystals. Presumably, it was the other things inside of the crystals that were trying to talk or communicate.
Gotcha.
But once you left that chamber, you couldn't hear it anymore.
Okay. So yeah, he just like nods, like yeah, okay.
Okay. Wait. Did you? Above game, did you phrase the question in a way that are we still hearing it? Or
no, I just said, did you hear it in the
Yeah.
Back when we were in the cavern.
Right. Do you still hear the whispers?
No, the only thing I can hear is the sound of Rerek chewing.
Are you
Okay.
still hearing them, Percy?
Yeah, I like tap my ears. Yeah, I can still hear them.
Have you tried earplugs?
I think Percy like shoved something in his ears last night in an effort to help him sleep.
Probably
it did not work.
Didn't work.
Yeah, I tried earplugs.
Shame.
Just made it a little hard to sleep last night.
So should we wait until you explode, or should we just prepare anyway?
I guess get in contact with the funeral director.
Rerek, darling, can you? Thank God you're back. By the way, the wizard who was with us yesterday was so useless.
He didn't know detect magic. He didn't know the one spell that you wanted him to cast.
Yes, exactly. And Rerek is a pro at it at this point. Darling,
Okay, let me just finish what I'm eating.
Has some stuff on it.
Okay, you want to do this? I'm gonna detect magic.
Sure.
I'm not sure how this would show up, if it would.
Yeah, I guess at this point, I think Percy was hoping it would go away. He might also cast Detect Good and Evil now.
Wouldn't it be similar to when I looked at the curses from their family, from Belladonna? Because it's a curse, so.
I guess it would kind of look similar, except it's more, I would say it's probably a lot more conjuration as opposed to transmutation and necromancy. It's definitely almost entirely conjuration.
Is he possessed?
You don't know.
What makes you say that? What
I don't feel
Rerek, with
possessed.
those wizard eyes, what do you see?
I literally don't know. I think it's because it's conjuration. Like, what the fuck is conjuration?
Summoning things.
Yeah,
You would
so
know
something
that.
is summoned and he would have been like possessed by that thing, right?
I don't feel very possessed. It's something whispering in my ear.
I'm like not as smart as Rerek.
I will say, with the detect magic, you don't seem to detect the cats, even though you know they're there. So there's a possibility that whatever this is might not be detectable through detect magic, but there's magic involved.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know what that means for me.
Me neither.
So I don't feel like it's doing anything outside of making our heart sleep for the time being. So just press on and
can you
add it to the list of things to figure out about our family.
Well, can you tell me what the whispers are saying? Then maybe I can
not
comprehend
a single
languages.
clue. I cannot discern.
Just to be clear, you do not speak deep speech, do you?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I speak
comments.
Can't the two of you break spells?
Can I try? I mean, remove curse is a third level spell. We're about to go to the house.
Wait a minute. You do have oh, unless you don't have it prepared today. What was that language spell you had?
Tongues.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's better than my comprehend language thing. So.
Yeah. I mean, I was preparing it in case we just talk to the frog people again. But
we're not. Are we going back there today?
Yeah, but that was the plan.
Would you?
Sure. Can I retcon it, Spencer? See, last night I had 1 third level spell slot left and say that I cast tongues while I was trying.
Would you have a 3rd level spell slot left?
I cast Remove Curse, and I had it marked down. Man. No, I cast Spirit Guardians, Remove Curse.
Well,
You're
at
probably
any rate,
right.
would you
yeah,
have
you're
to
right. So yeah, stick with
recognize?
them's the third one. So I had none left.
Would you have to know what language it is before you cast tongues?
No, it
No.
just lets me.
It just lets you understand everything.
Oh, okay. Well, that
And
is
talk
badass
it,
then.
and speak it, too.
Yes, and speak it.
That is
Yeah,
pretty cool.
sure. Why not? I'll cast tongues on myself.
Ooh, goody! I have to get a book out. Not an alarming book in the slightest.
Oh, good.
Not at all.
Last night, Percy was mostly hoping it would just go away. So,
yeah, that seems to work well for the members in your family.
can't blame you for hoping.
Flipping to the place that I need to be in the book. So you're casting tongues.
Yes.
As you do, the voices do come into focus, almost as if you were putting on a pair of glasses and the images, and everything just pulls back into focus, and you hear these various voices now a lot clearer, understanding them a lot more. And it is just a chorus of, help us, free us, can you understand us? Your family put us here, you can get us out. And various things of that nature.
Can I respond?
Under tongues, yes. Yes, you can.
Let's see. Yes, I can hear you.
But you could not hear us last night.
I can't normally understand what you're saying, but help.
Then is he going crazy?
Yeah, definitely. I am just sitting at the breakfast table, just like, no, I don't understand what you're saying.
Like talking to yourself, yeah.
So are you speaking deep speech to them, or do we hear it in common?
I think I ruled it with the bullywugs that you heard him in common.
Yeah,
because
I think everyone just hears what they understand.
Yes, but then as he was speaking to the bullywugs, you could hear almost as if another voice was speaking under him, under his voice, in the language that is being translated into. So I would say you hear him say stuff in common, but you also hear a little echo of it in deep speech.
Wonderful. That's not disturbing at all.
And at that point, Bella actually pricks up after hearing you speak that and goes, I know that language. What did Maximilian Dupree say it was? I don't know. I don't remember, but I understand it. I don't know why, but I do.
Okay.
That's comforting.
Yeah.
So back into your head.
Yeah, back in my head.
Yes. We have been chained to you. Help us, free us, undo what your family have done to us.
I can't free you. You're evil. If I free you, you're going to hurt people.
We can give you gifts. We can give you many things. Many things you lack. Many things you have. Many things you want. Just ask.
Can you tell me about what happened to my family?
Are you bargaining with it now? Because
it said I could ask.
I seem to recall you cautioning me against the very same thing, not one day ago.
I'm not going to free them. I'm never going to do that.
Just saying, hot kettle.
We know very little. We have been trapped for so long. We can tell you what we know if you free us.
Well, this is going to go nowhere fast, isn't it?
You want to enlighten the rest of the class?
They want me to free them, and they're saying they'll give me things. I mean,
yeah.
Same
routine then.
Yeah.
Who's them?
All of the evil creatures and aberrations, I think they're called, that were trapped in the crystals.
Oh, well, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
There, we don't know if they're all evil, or your definition of evil, at least.
Well, my definition of evil is, are they going to hurt people?
Right. I don't think they have the best interest of mortals at heart, at any rate.
Well, I guess I'm just going to, can I just turn the tongue spells off then?
I think you can.
Cool. So that returns to just incoherent whispers in my head.
You do get a sense that they, in a way, realize you've basically switched it off.
Yeah.
And the whispers kind of get a bit more louder and a bit more frantic as they're probably wondering why you can't understand them anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, you cannot understand them anymore.
Okay, I just turned it all off. I guess I'm just gonna live with that now.
Yet again, can't you break spells, Percy? You broke whatever the hell it called itself's hold over that corpse yesterday.
And provided that you can't, do you really think that it's a good idea to go back to the house to deal with whatever form of nasty thing we find there when you're in this state?
Well, I don't see this getting any better anytime soon.
That's sort of my point. I mean, did you look in a mirror today?
Okay, I feel like we're a big little hurtful in the appearance front today.
That's not what I meant. Although a comb wouldn't do you any harm.
He's trying to say you look like manure.
Thank you, Rerek. Ever poetic.
Charming as always.
That's what shit means, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, Rerek, it does.
There's something happening with my family, with the house. Generations old secrets I had no idea existed. And I'm not going to get any closer to that by staying here hoping the voices go away.
Well, I suppose that's fair. I'm just concerned, that these whispers could distract you at a crucial moment. Say, perhaps with a zombie warrior's axe at your neck. I don't know.
Well, if that is the case, then all of you will no longer have any reason to return to that house.
Well, I suppose that does solve one problem. Yeah, fair.
Does it, though?
Well, for me, anyway.
Well, for now.
I'm just saying, you've contacts at a school of high magic and higher clerics in your temple, and you're just going to walk around with voices in your ear that someone magically put there. My God, you people can be stupid sometimes.
Yeah, nope, man, nothing to add.
Okay, I can stop by the church before we go.
Can we just bop it out of your head?
Possibly hurt.
Like, can I just?
I think there's still a
and
frying
turn it
pan
off?
sitting on the stove in the kitchen. Maybe you could try that.
I
Yeah.
don't think head trauma breaks curses typically.
Well,
I mean,
okay,
I went into
fine.
sewing, but I'm fairly sure no one has told me head trauma breaks curses, or else there'd be a lot of people who could have curses broken very easily.
And she's in
Well,
magic
it'd be
school right now.
entertaining at the very least. So,
Well, yeah, I guess I am.
I'll stop by the church.
fine.
Perhaps someone there would be able to help. And then we can go.
I think that's probably for the best. I mean, it's not wise to return there in your condition. It's just not.
I agree.
All right. We'll give it one shot here.
Besides, they already owe you for cleaning up how many of their messes at this point? And if you won't leverage that in your favor, I will.
Seconded.
Right. I'll head to the cathedral now then.
All right, fine. Just a little bit of bacon for the road. Arthur's like stuffing bacon in his pockets. Like
Pocket bacon.
Yeah.
The best kind of bacon.
Head on out.
So you head back to the cathedral district, back to the very familiar cathedral of which you have been to many times before and probably will return to many times again. The doors to the cathedral are open, and it seems that Archbishop Sherman has just finished some kind of ceremony or mass of some kind, and the congregants are exiting the cathedral. In the time that you've been away, they have definitely cleaned up as much as they could. You notice that there are some pews that have been replaced. They are not as ostentatious or as nice as the previous ones were, but they are not broken.
Yeah.
Barks very loudly as people mill out, just gonna be like, it looks like there wasn't a murderous rampage this time. That's an improvement.
I think they've even managed to get almost all the bloodstains out of the floor. Look at fascinating.
Oh, that's who I have tethered my cart to. All right. I'll approach Archbishop Sherman.
Yes, he finishes up a conversation with a group of congregants and shakes one of their hands and goes, "Yes, many blessings upon you. Oh, hello, Percy. Welcome back."
Bishop, I know it's at the last minute, but if you could grant me I had a word I was looking for that just exited my brain. If you could give
Percy's
me
been having some trouble lately. He's not exactly in the best shape.
If you could grant me some counsel, I would appreciate it.
Yes, of course. I'm always here for that. I've just finished my mass for the day, so you can meet me in my office.
Of course. I'll turn to the boys and be like, "Please behave."
No promises, says Arthur, like picking his teeth with a dagger.
And,
I am the image of decorum.
Right.
You're an image.
I'll head to his office.
His office is very close to the sanctuary. He leads you through one of these side exits at the back and down the hallway a little bit to a very warmly lit room. It almost has a lovely golden glow to it. He has various books and scriptures spread out on the table where he obviously has written his various sermons that he speaks. He has a variety of lovely, comfy cushions on a few chairs here and there.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of devotional stuff on the wall. And he is devoted to Saint Golgotha. You would know this. She is the patron saint of funeral rituals, as well as the patron saint of Darkmoor, the city itself. And seeing as how he's the Archbishop of Darkmoor, it only makes sense that that is the saint that he prays to. Which you've always found a little bit odd in some ways, because she is depicted as being a hooded woman wearing a black cloak and a skull mask, whereas he is dressed in a very green robe and is very happy and jolly, whereas she seems like a very dour saint. Especially because her miracles often involve bringing back the dead or speaking with the dead or things of that nature. So it's a little bit contradictory, but he does sit you down and go, so what seems to be the problem?
Yesterday, I assisted Brother Chauncey with a task he was working on in mines. And ended up uncovering a deep underground hidden room that was full of aberrations, evil monsters that were all trapped in crystals. And had to fight a large aberration that was possessing people. We defeated it, but sort of at the last moment, it recognized my blood. My family had imprisoned it, and it's cursed me as it died. And now, even now, I can hear the whispers of the monsters in that cave. I was hoping there'd be something the church could do to help.
And he kind of sits back in the chair. Perhaps there is, perhaps there isn't. I am not an expert in curses, but I understand that there are some that cannot be broken with remove curse.
Yes.
I am unsure of if this is one or if it could be, and you just... I am entirely unsure. Do you remember what it said? Sometimes the wording of curses can help in breaking it.
All I remember is it said it recognized the crucified blood, and after that, all I remember it saying was it cursed me as it sort of rushed over my body before it died.
Well, I guess I will try something. If it doesn't work, there is not much more that I can do. But I will... and he gets up and he pulls out a key ring and he goes to one of the bookshelves. And at the base of it is a cabinet with a lock on it. And he unlocks it and he pulls out what is very obviously a spell scroll. And he unrolls it. And I keep some of these for emergencies, in case there is something such as a lycanthrope that is brought into the cathedral, or a hag might have placed a curse on an innocent child or something of that nature. I'm hesitant to use one. I'm afraid it most likely will not work, but I would feel guilty in a way if I did not try something. So I will, but know that this will most likely not work. And what this is most likely out of my power. You may need to seek, if you can, higher beings. Perhaps angels if possible, or perhaps even Saint Hypatia herself if she is willing to lend an ear.
Well, anything you could try, I would be grateful.
So he sits down and unrolls the spell scroll and begins reading the spell aloud. And he reaches out and casts Remove Curse on you. You feel almost as though there is a static shock and that there is movement in something, but it's like a pebble in a lake.
Yeah.
The lake does not budge.
Cool.
And you hear the voices rise up again, screaming, howling in rage. And you can understand them this time. And they say, "Not until all things have been undone." And it is deafening. For a minute, they scream various versions of that in your ears, to the point where your hands reflexively go over your ears. But it doesn't help. But you see Archbishop Sherman, as you kind of come out of this minute-long bombardment of voices, he is standing on the other side of the room. I was certainly not expecting that. This is definitely far out of my realm of expertise.
Yeah, like kind of do my best to recover. Thank you. This is what I expected. But I thought it might be foolish to not at least seek help before more extreme measures were taken.
Yes, it is never foolish to seek help. Well, I will certainly keep you in my prayers to Saint Golgotha. And I'm sure, I hope, Saint Hypatia will hear you.
I'll definitely be praying as well. Thank you. This means a lot. And I'll stand up and a little bow and exit.
Yes, and he does stay behind and kind of put a hand on the desk to kind of steady himself a little bit, and just stares at the floor as you leave and go back to the sanctuary.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'll return to my boys.
So, how'd it go? Y'all better?
Yeah. He was able to clear it up.
Oh, well, that was easy. I'm glad we suggested you came.
Yeah, definitely. The Archbishop is very powerful. His connection to saints is true.
Now, aren't you glad that we suggested you not go directly to the house?
You were right. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, if you're feeling any better, then I suppose business is business.
Yeah, we can go back to the house. And all of you, I still need to communicate how much it means to me that you're still here. That you're still helping me with this. I really couldn't do it by myself.
Yeah. Arthur just kind of like waves it off. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Squishy stuff. Great.
Right. So, back on the road then.
Okay.
So once again, you head back to the very familiar house, passing by the familiar guard gate, past the carriage house, and up to the familiar juncture. Heading to the right would take you to the chapel and what is left of the hedge maze, up to the gardens and greenhouse, and then up to the house. To the left would lead you to the lake house, to the stables, to the winery, and then up to the house. It is farther, but you've walked it all.
Yeah.
But the garden is still unexplored. Which way would you like to go?
Which way is the garden?
Right.
The way of the hedge maze?
Yeah.
So is it past the hedge maze?
Yes. The garden and greenhouse is past the hedge maze.
Or what was once the hedge maze?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
I feel like we should be able to like get some of that auricacum. Did we get some of the auricacum the last time we were there?
I would say you probably have a small handful of it.
I think you did. I think you broke off a chunk.
Yeah, you whacked it with your staff.
Well, if we ever need more, we know where to find it. Yeah, I would say we could probably head through the hedge maze into the gardens and maybe get to the house by nightfall.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds fine. I mean, well, I guess you don't know this place any better than we do, but you knew what I meant.
So you head past the chapel, past the graveyard, and into the ashes of the hedge maze, where now the only thing that is left is the various fences and fountains and tall pillars with still gargoyles on the top that still seem to shift whenever you aren't looking at them. But otherwise, everything has been reduced to ash. You do see the large meteor in the crater that is still giving off a bit of a hazy sort of fog, but there's no evidence of any veg pygmy activity. You head beyond the hedge maze and up into the unexplored gardens. As you get there, you see the grass is suddenly much more lush and alive. It's actually a green color. And as you head in, there are flowers, colorful flowers, lush green bushes, robust trees with actual leaves on them, not gray or autumnal leaves, green leaves. There are statues of what appear to be various saints dotted around in flower beds. It seems weird this place is so well kept. Off to your left is a large rock formation with a variety of trees all clumped close together. Various almost ponds and a sort of swampy mud fills the area, but you get the sense that that's how it's supposed to be. It's some kind of grotto. And as you're walking by it, you see sliding up over one of the rocks is a very large snail. Buzzing out from the tree and flying overhead is a giant dragonfly that kind of dips down low and takes a look at you before flying back off into the trees. You see one of the rocks in this sort of swampy sludge that is covered with mushrooms, seems to actually stand up and turn before setting itself down in the muck. There are birds singing in the trees. There are insects as well. There is wildlife here, which is strange because a lot of the forests of Gothia, despite the fact they do have wildlife, are surprisingly silent. But this isn't.
Well, that's all a bit odd then.
I've never seen something that looks so alive.
Yeah, as nice as it is to see, I don't trust it.
The gigantic animals are definitely different.
They don't grow this big normally here.
No, they're supposed to be like this big.
And did we all notice the rock move itself?
Yes. It was very loud as it got up. Water sloshed out of various holes, making loud splashing noises. It almost made a snort and some kind of grunting sound as it turned, thudding through the mud, and then set itself back down and wiggled into the mud a little bit. It was very conspicuous.
This place is going to be harder to burn than the maze.
Oh, please, dear God.
We don't need to burn every place we go to.
Yeah. Let's not.
This is far more charming.
True. Although again, odd. Plus that giant rock thing.
Yeah.
That's not something could I nature check? Like, do I recognize what that thing might be?
No, you don't.
Okay.
Would I maybe recognize what that thing is?
You can make a nature check.
Okay. I was like, there's a chance. That's a 5.
It's possibly some sort of mushroom creature.
It doesn't, as odd as it all is, it doesn't seem hostile.
Well, I suppose that's true. Should we just move on?
I guess.
Okay. Can I just primeval awareness really quick, like before we walk out of the...
For undead?
Yep. Yeah, that's all I can use it on until I get greater favorite enemy.
Right. Let me check a stat block real quick, because there may be... Yes. Up the path a significant way and a little bit off to the right, there is a very large, what appears to be greenhouse. It is round with a domed top, and then it comes together to an onion dome. It glitters in the sunlight and pokes up above the trees. As you look, it seems to have a reflecting pool in front of it, and you sense that there are some undead in that greenhouse.
Okay. So I guess I'll just... so there doesn't seem to be anything here, at least as far as undead are concerned. Not in the immediate area, but the greenhouse up the way does appear to host some danger.
Could have Jasmine sniff around a bit too.
I suppose that's fair. Yeah, I get, why not? I'll just keen smell, see, what. I forget what her perception is. I have to look because I don't think it's the same, actually. Her perception is +5. Go to skills. My perception is also +5. Okay, so I can just use mine. And that is Wow. Oh, that's a 7, not a 1. Okay. Well, she still did pretty shit, but it was a 12.
Around here, she smells fungus. Further up, she smells flowers. They're pretty strong here.
Okay. I would say nothing unusual, Lark, since you suggested it, but other than the flora and the fungi here, which in and of itself is a bit odd, nothing stranger than that. So,
should we go try to take care of what is in the greenhouse?
Perhaps. Seems as good a bet as any. I mean, I haven't killed anything in almost 24 hours, so.
I'm all intrigued by all of this lush growth around Undeath. It seems somewhat counterproductive, one to the other.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's true, but it doesn't appear to be harming anything. And what are we to do?
Well, just see what kind of undead wouldn't or couldn't defile this place.
Are you proposing that this place has been spared? What's the word I'm looking for? Spared the desolation of the rest of the property?
Looks like it.
I mean, right, but we have no way of knowing if it was this way before or if this is something that happened after the event, let's call it.
Should I do an Arcana check?
Yes, you can. And if you and everyone else can make me a perception check, please.
Okay.
So I'll do Arcana and Perception.
Yes.
19.
Okay. 22.
19 for Arcana. And 18 for Perception.
I got 9.
Got 17.
All right. So, Rerek, it certainly looks like it was spared the desolation, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it was. There are ways to cover it up. Illusions, transmutation, and also a lot of the desolation has taken place in a variety of different ways. What's to say that this is not a form of desolation?
Okay.
Those of you that rolled pretty high, so not Lark, you notice wading through the water is a humanoid figure which catches your eye for a moment, and you look over. It is in fact not human at all. It certainly has humanoid features. It has the face of almost an exaggerated elf, really high cheekbones, really narrow eyes, really pointy ears, really sort of pouty lips, but it's not an elf. The head seems to expand out into a mushroom cap. There are mushrooms growing off of her shoulders. Her skin is yellowish and has spots all over it. Her skin seems to, as it comes down, become various shelf mushrooms and sort of drooping mushrooms that create a dress. And she's wading through the water, and she leans down and begins to start searching in the water for something. But she's definitely a mushroom.
What the hell is that?
Can I make an insight check to see if I think she's nice?
Sure.
That's gonna be an 18.
This creature is incredibly alien. So it's kind of hard to read, but at the same time, it hasn't made any aggressive action.
It hasn't noticed us yet?
You don't know if it's noticed you or not.
Should we try to talk to her?
I mean,
Nature
yeah,
check.
you know what? Why not?
Are mushroom women native to this place?
No, Lark. Mushroom women are not native to this place.
No. This is a unique one.
Yeah, I guess I'll approach the water.
I'll go with you, Jazz and I.
As she's continuing to search through the water, she kind of looks up, notices you, and she kind of gives a little smile and just waves, and then goes back to searching in the mud for things.
Hello. Sorry to bother you.
She kind of looks up and points to herself.
Yes, you. Can you understand us?
She nods.
Okay. My name is Percy. This is Arthur. We just arrived, and this place looks gorgeous. We just wanted to know more about it. Are you from here?
She nods again.
Right. Well, what do we ask for, Arthur?
I don't. Can you speak?
She shakes her head.
No. Yes or no questions. Okay. Good.
Gotcha.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that. Did you say something?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, this is going to be difficult. I was going to ask her how long she's been here. Have you been here your whole life? Okay.
She nods.
Lark's gonna so now that they've confirmed that mushroom women aren't native to this plane, and in close proximity to our last fungal infestation, he's just gonna coyly be like, do you know veg pygmies at all? Those little mushroom folk?
She nods very vigorously, and she seems to smile a little bit.
Oh,
I don't think she knows they're dead.
Did you see a pillar of flame not long ago? Sweet.
That's likely for the best.
Did you come with them?
So you're a daughter of mother as well. Okay.
Percy feels very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know that Mark did mention that his family back home told him mother was dangerous at one point.
I said, it's gonna be a lot harder to burn this place.
But she's
we're
nice.
Not burning anything.
I mean, you said that about the veg pygmies, and that didn't save them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do what I want.
I'll ask her. Is this place dangerous? These creatures? Wonderful. Do you know what's in the greenhouse? The large house made of glass.
And she kind of looks around, and then she just points to various plant life.
There are plants in it, yes.
It is a greenhouse.
But we thought there might have been some sort of dangerous creature inside of it. Do you know that to be true?
She shakes her head.
Okay.
Ask her if she's maintained the greenhouse.
Are you the keeper of this place? Oh, okay.
Where is the keeper of this place?
She just points down the road.
Oh shit.
Like towards the house?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Is there something we should call you? I know you can't speak, but
she just kind of shrugs.
Very well.
You know
Okay.
why your mother sent you here?
She kind of takes her hands and just does this.
To eat.
Sent you here to eat.
Yeah, food. Well, Percy?
Well, it's been lovely meeting you. We'll let you get back to the
Origin?
river.
I'm just curious. What is food exactly? Can you point to it?
She once again points to various plant life, then the snail and the dragonfly, and then she kind of cocks her head a little bit and then just kind of points to you all.
Thank you.
So she's not vegetarian.
No. She's a fungus. They eat dead things. Everything organic. Anything. I don't think she poses a threat. Please do not set anything on fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll be going.
Are there more of you? A lot more or only a few?
Are they that big or are they that many? Okay.
Well, I think we've bothered this nice lady enough.
And at that, she kind of raises a finger and she turns around and you kind of see the mushroom cap glow a little bit before out comes this yellowish cloud. And the air does smell momentarily different as the breeze carries it. And you see other mushroom people begin to peek out from behind trees. You also see veg pygmies.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no.
One of them is even riding on a big, almost dog or horse-like creature made out of like vines and thorns that's wading through the water. You see just various types of fungus creatures that all come from the grotto towards you as she's kind of waving to them.
Oh. I want to test this new spell I got called Scorching Ray.
No, we're not going to do that.
No. No, I had to suffer through their genocide once, and I am thoroughly pleased that they are not eradicated.
Oh, yes, Arthur, let's get eaten alive by a swarm of funguses.
If they're funguses, they'll eat us when we're dead. So
either way, they want us dead. That's
if
how
they wanted to
want their
hurt
food
living
served.
creatures, then they would do that. They're not. I can't see how leaving these creatures alive would be harmful to anyone. They only feed on rot that already exists.
Or they cost it.
I don't know that
we have yet to see them cause anything other than a deep sadness in myself and Arthur.
Okay.
Look at this place.
We can go to the greenhouse if y'all want.
This is the most beautiful place in potentially all of Gothia. So maybe we leave it alone.
Yeah, that's got my vote. If it counts for anything, I don't know that we're voting. Are we voting now?
Also, it's my house, so.
Not yet.
Fair
She
point.
said there's a master there somewhere.
Well, legally, in the eyes of the government,
we're still trying to reclaim it.
Yeah.
So wait, are these fungus people coming towards us?
It seems like some of them have. Others have kind of like looked and then walked away back to whatever they were doing.
Can I just like scare them and like I feel like if I spit like a tiny ember, I feel like they're gonna burst into flame and die.
They were extremely flammable.
Yeah.
We've discovered that.
Let's go to the greenhouse. The greenhouse sounds great.
Greenhouse sounds awesome.
Yeah, we need a new place to stay in anyway.
Undead I can handle. Whatever this is just confusing.
It's the circle of life.
It was lovely meeting all of you. We're going to be going.
They all seem to wave very happily as you walk away. And then as you kind of look over your shoulder every once in a while, they do seem to just return to whatever they were doing beforehand.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty cute.
Yeah. That's lovely.
As you round the bend, you see there is a pretty large open field of flowers and flower beds and topiaries and statues that seem to be all very, very well kept, as if someone is tending to them.
Lark?
And as you are walking, you see there is, interestingly, on the side of the path, a wheelbarrow with dirt in it and various gardening tools laying around, and you hear a rustling in one of the bushes, one of the topiaries.
Can I just like fire an arrow into the ground, like near the rustling, but not into the bushes?
Sure, you can.
Do you want me to roll?
No. You
Okay.
just...
Yeah, just...
The arrow lands in the ground, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Convenient. Popping up from the topiary is a human woman with graying salt and pepper hair, kind of short, a little bit hunched over, probably in her later years, coming towards retirement, with a trowel in her hand. And she just kind of looks back and forth from the arrow to you for a moment and goes, "Was I in your way?"
Oh, no, dear. I had only meant to get your attention. That's all.
Well, you could have just shouted.
Can I use Eyes of the Grave really quick to see if she's undead?
She is not undead.
Yeah, I would have sensed her.
Hi, so sorry about that. We thought you might have been a monster or something. What's your? I'm Percy. It's my friends Arthur, Lark, and Rerek. Can I ask what your name is?
Oh, yes. My name is Willow. I've been assistant head gardener here for a long time.
Uh-huh.
How long is a long time?
I was going to ask the same thing.
I've quite forgotten. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Are you employed by the Kurzwald family?
Yes.
My name is Percy Kurzwald. This is my house.
Oh, well, it's lovely to meet you. I haven't seen you around here.
Yes,
in fact, I haven't seen a lot of people around here.
It sort of recently came into my possession. You know about the property, the curses, the monsters?
No.
Have you left the garden ever?
Not really. It needs a lot of work to stay this
I'm
nice.
sure it does. You've never once been threatened by any creatures in all your time here?
Not that I can remember.
I don't know how to tell you this, Willow, but the grounds of the house are running wild with monsters and undead and creatures of all sorts.
You didn't notice the community of fungus creatures back there?
Oh, those have been around for quite some time. I have to look up a name real quick.
Yeah, may we ask, who hired you?
Well, it was Dorothea. Kritzwald hired me.
You were hired
That
by
was like
Dorothea.
several hundred years ago.
Yes, it was.
Oh, are you still alive? For a human.
What year do you think it is?
I don't think we established a year.
Yeah, we haven't.
We didn't. No.
I'll just say something. Dorothea has been dead for some 400 years.
Well, that's not right.
We can assure you it is.
I'm the descendant of Balthasar Kritzwald. He is my, I don't know how many great-great-great-grandfather.
And no one told me. They don't tell us
Um,
anything around here, do they?
How many of your coworkers are still in the garden with you?
About 5 others. There's the head gardener, and then there are the ones who work under me.
Right.
You think there's magic at play as
Yes.
to why she's
Couldn't
alive?
possibly be.
Most certainly magic going on here.
Can I probably like identify it? Like
I think, Willow, you might have found yourself at the center of some very impressive magic. Would it be possible for us to look around and maybe meet the head gardener or the other gardeners?
Sure. I'm sure you can find them around here in the garden. Just try not to step on the flower beds. I've been working very hard to keep the tulips from wilting this year. It's been extra cold. But other than that, feel free to enjoy the garden. We've worked very hard to keep it in this lovely state.
Of course.
Watch your feet, Rerek.
Yes. Thank you. We'll likely see you again shortly.
And then she just goes back to digging underneath the topiary.
Can I have Jasmine smell for other people?
Sure.
Like, see if maybe she can point me in a direction here.
Give me a perception check.
Okay, let me see here. That's gonna be 21.
She smells flowers, lots of pollen, lots of trees. She doesn't smell people.
Okay, boys, so that's weird. Jasmine says there are no people here. Yeah, no, none.
Smell like a person?
Rerek, could you cast Detect Magic for us?
You're muted, by the way.
I said sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I was actually thinking maybe I should use Identify on that lady.
Identify only works on objects.
Well, I can use it on people too.
So if you're using Detect Magic, there is a lot of transmutation magic around here. A lot. And a lot of evocation magic as well.
Whoa.
Okay. So magic abounds, and
not illusion magic though, which is my first guess.
That's what I would have thought as well. And not no people. As much as can Willow hear this conversation that we're having?
I think we've walked far enough away.
Yeah,
probably.
you can say
Okay.
you've walked up the path a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. So no, she doesn't smell like anything. All Jasmine can smell is the plant life. That's it.
Right.
That's all that's here. Plants.
It's transmutation.
And that would be a good time to end episode 25 of Sign of the Dark House. So join us next week as we try and figure out what the hell is going on in this garden. And I will see you all in about 10 minutes.